Okay, we're live. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the second segment of Conversations from Home, from a whole month of presenters on health, emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual health. Just on the International Month of Mental Health. So today we have a special guest from England, and she's actually from Chile, but she lives in England, and she's going to be sharing with us on the pineal gland and the third eye. So welcome, Veronica Sanchez. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Christian. I'm so happy to be here and sharing with everyone.
Thank you so much. I don't know, you're just checking, Christian, yes?
Yeah, I'm just sharing it to the other pages.
So we're still finalizing. But yes, this is an amazing topic. The first time we heard, directly about it was with an interview in a radio program, Alumbra. So I've heard of the pineal gland, but when we had the interview with you, it just resonated with me so much. And I started researching, and then we did the course with you, which was amazing, a whole weekend. So I guess if you want to tell everybody a little bit about what the pineal gland is and what it is about.
Yeah, of course. Look, the pineal gland is this gland that we have in the middle of our brain. Yeah, exactly in the middle. And it's called pineal gland because it has the shape of a pine cone, right? And this pineal gland has a lot of functions, and one of them is that it produces some hormones, and among them melatonin. And melatonin has very, very important functions in our bodies. So the pineal gland has a lot of it regulates. It's like a master gland that regulates a lot of functions in the body. Yeah, and it produces melatonin, serotonin during the day, and other hormones, right? It's related to that. And because of this production of these hormones, for example, melatonin, the pineal gland has an influence on rejuvenation, for example, on our immune system. We can sleep better too because melatonin regulates our circadian rhythm, our sleeping cycle. So those are the physical benefits when you activate your pineal gland. But for me, the most important one is I could say the spiritual side of the pineal gland, because when we activate our third eye, our pineal gland, is like we open a door, and it's like an antenna that connects us with higher realms of consciousness and with high frequency feelings. And when we get that, when we connect to that, I call the source, or you can call it God, great architect, origin, your choice, yes? But when we connect to the source, to this consciousness, we actually get that energy acting for us here in this field, in co-creation. And whatever we do is more powerful. It gets elevated in voltage. So that's more or less what is the pineal gland, and it has been present in the history of humanity since the very beginning. So yes.
I guess how important it is at the moment to connect with something like that, because I feel that there's a lot of emotional movement, a lot of mental movement. How do we, how important it is at the moment to have something to hold on to?
Exactly. Look, it's very important now. Why now? Because the earth is going through a change, as we all know, right? And when this happens, we as humanity we have to go according to that. We have to match those frequencies. And the earth is elevating its frequency, and we have to accompany this. So the more we attune to high frequency feelings, to these levels of consciousness, the more we elevate our own vibration, we help this process even in a wonderful way, I could say, better, and in a way that is going to be more harmonious for us and for the earth. So it's very important for us to connect, but also it's very important for us to elevate the quality of our feelings for us, for ourselves, because all big changes happen with ourselves first. Yes? With ourselves. I mean, I cannot change the world if I don't change myself first. Yeah, and that's the beauty of this method. For example, activating that is a method of self-mastery, and you start practicing this, and you are affecting your own cells, and then you radiate this to others and to your environment, and that's the way we start changing the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that at the moment, I mean, I think that, I don't know, every week presents different things. I don't know, at least for me, or every day. I find that at the moment that if I don't have something to practice, I mean, my head can go anywhere, my emotions as well. I find that there's a lot of movement at the moment. I don't know whether people that are listening also connect to that. Yes.
Yeah. It's because we live in this field of polarities, yeah? And we move between positive and negative, right? And when we do this, and when we are not connected, we are actually at the mercy of these polarities. And if I don't control my attention, and I don't get my attention out of negative feelings, it's going to be very difficult for me. And we have this tendency. We have the tendency of dwelling on negative emotions, and thinking that we have to dwell there. And the more we stay there, the more I'm going to comprehend what is going on. Which what we propose is the opposite. We acknowledge, but then we have to move a little bit higher in order to work on that negative emotion. Yeah. And how do we do that? By controlling our attention and taking our attention to something that is higher in level. And for me, that's the source, right? And it's a matter of that. And a lot of people said, but what is this controlling attention? Controlling attention is when you are, for example, walking and you are thinking about something negative in your life, and you are able to pick on that. You say, oh, well, maybe it's better that I change my way of thinking now, right? And you start thinking about another thing, about a trip or something that you did in the past or something like that. Then you are elevating your frequency a little bit more. And then you are able to go back to that, but from this level, from a higher level, right? And that's an exercise that we all have to do daily, observing where our attention is, yeah? And then getting our attention to things that are more important sometimes, because sometimes we dwell on things that, that are not even important. Yeah.
Yes. And like you said, I mean, you said something like being in the mercy of. I mean, I find that unless we do that and ground and find a tool that we can use, we are at the mercy of our thoughts. We are at the mercy of our emotions. And yeah, you can go into a real ride. Yes.
Exactly. Especially now with everything that's going on in the world. And also, just think about mass media, for example. And all the news we are receiving, and we're receiving all these news, and they're all, I would say, 90% negative. And I'm being generous with this, 90% negative. And we attune to that negativity. And so it's very difficult, and it's very difficult for a lot of people. So I always recommend to find tools that are going to allow you to get that out of that state. Yeah. And it could be just going out in nature, for example. Just changing a little bit, and that is going to help you enormously.
And even before that, I mean, I've been doing talks on A Course in Miracles, and A Course in Miracles talks about a choice. Do I want to, support the ego and bow to the ego, or do I want to bow to the Holy Spirit, the divine, the source? And it is going back to that, because sometimes even though it might be difficult and painful, we still bow to the ego, and we still go into that, wormhole,
Yeah, this is interesting because within the Cyclopea method, ego is a creative force. In which sense? Is because of ego that we do things in the world, right? But the thing is that our ego has to be worked, yeah? I mean, it cannot take possession of us. So it's using the ego in a way that it serves a better purpose, a superior purpose. And then getting in alignment with our inner purpose. And then we can work in co-creation with the source and let the source to take the power, right? To take the power. But I mean, in these polarities, of course, it's our ego that makes us move. But the thing is that the word ego sometimes has a very negative thing. But if you think the ego is what makes us function here. Without a little bit of ego, we would be, very down, right? So the thing is that we have to elevate that and allow the source to take control and open our third eye and allow the source to take control, and then we can function like that in the world, becoming radiant beings. Yeah, because that's what we do. We become beings that radiate this goodness to the world. Now, it doesn't mean that because you are always connected, you are not going to, sometimes go down, right? Or lower your frequency, because we live in this field of polarities. What is going to happen is that you are going to get a tool. You will have a tool that is going to immediately make you think, oh, it's like a red light. Oh, I'm disconnected. I have to connect to the source now, right? And it's the same thing with prayer. People that pray, when they don't pray, they miss it. It's like a red light. So, I have to do it, right? So that's the thing, and we all have that ability. And the thing is that we want to be guided by the hand. That we have the tools within us. We just need to awaken them.
And Veronica, you were talking about elevating the frequency. So are you sort of implying that if our frequency is at a much lower level, we're not going to be able to connect to the source and the third eye and the pineal gland? Is that right?
No, what I'm saying is that low frequency is not that it's bad or good. It's just low frequency. Yeah. Of course, we associate emotions that are negative with low frequencies, but sometimes we are just here in this frequency. But if I make the effort, and I switch my attention and I connect to the source, then I can elevate my frequency. So it's not that I don't have free will. I mean, my free will is always there. I always have the choice to connect to the source or to not do it. Yeah. And keep living in these polarities, because we are used to this. We are used to living in here and saying, okay, today is okay, tomorrow I don't know, right? The thing is that when we connect to the source, using our willpower, and we are able to get that energy for us, with us, everything that happens in our own personal lives gets elevated. Yeah. And this elevation affects everything around us. It's not that I am influencing something, yeah, because influence has also the connotation of manipulation. I'm not influencing, I'm radiating, which is different. Yeah, I'm radiating this good energy, and the pineal gland, the third eye, is the door to do that, to attune. Yeah, for me, it's the way. And I have tried many, and this is the one that I really, really feel that connection.
I guess that you can, I mean, one of the things, the ways that I identify that I'm not connected is that I'm not feeling well, and that my head is just nonstop. Would that be something that you could discuss as well in regards to, I mean, because sometimes we are so used to not feeling well that we think that it's part, you know, that's how it is.
Look, Nancy, we have the power of observation. Yeah, and that is related to attention too, right? So when we are able to observe ourselves and just to stop for a moment and say, okay, where is my attention? Why I'm feeling this way? How can I address this issue? Yes, and that's the first step, and it's a huge step.
Yes.
Yeah, just by observing, acknowledging, then you are just elevating a little bit your frequency.
Yeah, because usually we are with the spotlight on the other or on the situation, you know, it's just putting the spotlight on us and seeing, okay, what's going on for me? How is my body feeling? What's happening with my mind? Yeah, it is a huge step to do that. And then what?
And then when you this is a habit that we have to always have, right? I mean, acquire the power of observation, observe, and then act on that observation, and then use the tools you have. Yeah. For example, now you have the pineal gland activation, the third eye activation, right? Use those exercises. Other people might have meditation. Others don't do anything, but they go out. I was talking the other day to a person that does sailing, yeah? And that's her way of switching off and connecting, you know? So there are other ways. We just have to find the one that is better for us. But in saying that, I think that we as humanity, we all one day we are going to be able to elevate our consciousness to really, really high levels. That's the new earth that is coming. People elevating their consciousness even more and more and more. Yeah. And because that's our mission. Our mission here is to learn how to create with love, like Fresia Castro, the creator of the Cyclopea method, says, is to create with love. That's our only purpose here. Learn how to do that. And when you realize that, whatever you do in life is going to be towards that goal. Because when I create with love, everything flows and is much better, and we are helping to elevate the frequency of the planet. That's the thing. So I just I dream sometimes of this, you know, like the human beings elevating their consciousness and really experiencing being one.
Yes, and it is. I think we always say that we're living in unique times where we can actually see very clearly the dark and the light within ourselves and within our world. And it's always making that transition. I guess that is also very important. You know, we have so many tools, and by now, many of people, especially the people that will be watching these talks, they do have the toolbox. You know what I mean? They do have their practices. It's just getting the tool, you know, the practice from the toolbox and doing it, and also surrounding yourself with people that are doing the work, and that the aiming a higher frequency. Because sometimes I find that when you are surrounding yourself with people that are a bit struggling with frequency, it is harder for me too. Like it is much harder when you're in that soup. Yes,
exactly, because there is a frequency mismatch there. Yeah, but when you elevate your frequency, you are going to attract people in the same frequency anyway. Yeah, and those that are not in the same frequency are going to fade away. It doesn't mean that they are going to disappear. They are not going to be a part of your daily life, for example. Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have, hard things in life. Of course, we all do, because we live in this field. Otherwise, if everything was perfect, we will be in the electronic field, ascended already, right? No, but is how I approach to those things. And that is what we have to learn, how to elevate our approaching to all these negative feelings and emotions and situations. Yeah, that's for me. And so I just love the fact that humanity is waking up, and despite anything we see, it doesn't matter the news. I know this, and we know this. Just look what happened in the world. Yeah, we all have these tools, as you say. I mean, 2020 has been very hard, but then there you see people doing the best, right? Getting the best out of themselves. That's the tools.
and it's amazing because many people have stepped up. Many people. And I guess that we realized that we didn't have to be perfect to be able to be of service, and just to share what you've got already. I think it's been a fantastic time for many people stepping up. I think it's great.
Yeah, it shows our capacity, our ability as creators. Mm-hmm. We create our own world, and we have created what we are living here. Mm-hmm. And now we have the opportunity to create something completely different. Mm-hmm. And it's our responsibility, I think.
Definitely. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Fresia Castro? Do you want to tell us a little bit about who she is? And...
Yes. Look, Fresia Castro she's from Chile, and she's a science journalist. And more than 30 years ago, almost 40 years, I think a bit more, she started this spiritual pilgrimage. Yeah. And she went to different places and all that, and then she went to France, and there she received a spiritual instruction, and then she went to live in the desert for more than 10 years, and there she created 30 years ago the internal activation of the pineal gland Cyclopea method, this method that shows you how to activate your pineal gland, your third eye. And it has been available for 30 years in Spanish, and I think Italian. Now has been translated into Portuguese and into English. And I am the one that is teaching this method in English. And I have been doing this for I thought 6 years, but in English, the last 3 years.
Okay.
3 to 4 years, yes. And it's a wonderful method, and Fresia she's a master to me. Is an enlightened being, and very well known in Latin America, and she's a writer, and she has several Latin American bestsellers about the pineal gland and about her story. And 6 books I think she has. Yeah, and we are in the process of translating those books so people in English can know a little bit more about her and her work. And I'm very proud of being able to share this information with more and more people. Yeah, And because sometimes people ask me, but you are teaching something that is not yours. And I said, well, it's not, this method is not her method or my method. It's a method that is at the service of humanity. And I'm proud of being able to share it with other people.
Definitely. I mean, we always think that, the wisdom is there, you just grab it and then you share it. I mean, it's not that it's mine or yours or anybody's. Yes. That's the beauty of sharing from this space, that it doesn't belong to anybody. So we can all share it. I mean, if it works for you, why wouldn't you share it,
Yeah. So I became an instructor of this method, and I am really always happy to share it, because it's so beneficial for a lot of people. And Fresh is still active. She's doing her very advanced courses and online now, so that are available only for pinealists, people that have activated the pineal gland through the Cyclopea method. So yeah, it's really good.
And Veronica, just to understand, remember when we did the course, you just said about how Fresia went to the Atacama desert, right? So the northern part of sort of Chile, and she learned a lot of stuff from the indigenous cultures in that area. Is that right?
Yes. This method incorporates a lot of the we could say ancient teachings, and as well as spiritual teachings and science teachings. But she lived there and very close to these people, and she got a lot of their wisdom, and that is incorporated into the method also, because they know, they have it, they know what connection is, right? All Aboriginal and Indigenous people, they all know how to connect, and they have that wisdom within themselves. They are born with this connection, and they know how to ask for permission to the earth, for example, to water, to everything. And they know that how the universe moves, the stars and all that. So she learned all that from them. Yeah, there's beautiful stories about her life there.
Yeah. And it's really interesting, because it's a beautiful follow-on from our discussion on Friday with a couple of gentlemen that lived in Tasmania, but one of the particular people had such a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience working with the indigenous cultures of Australia. And he pretty much said very similar. They know how to work the land. They honor the land. They know how to connect with it, as you said. So it's beautiful to hear that from another perspective too.
Yeah, and she lived in the Atacama Desert. So this is the Andes cultures, indigenous cultures of the Andes mountains that, are all along, including, North America, that goes all the way, right? And they all have the same information. That's really powerful too. I mean, you can find the same information all over the planet about connection to the source, about the earth. About our relationship with nature, everywhere. The thing is that we in our worlds of we say civilized, between civilized, right? We lost that, and we have to come back to that. Yeah,
I hate that. I mean, when sometimes when we talk about people, with addictions or drinking or drugs or anything like that, they in a way, a very unconscious way, they are looking for that connection, isn't it? That peace. But the problem with that, the problem with reaching that space from with a drug or alcohol or anything like that, is that it won't last. And then sometimes the vibration is going to be even worse than when you started off. So this is such a empowering, healthy, a much healthier way of reaching that space without having to affect your body and your energy. Or
And you know that Fresia, she always says, this is a flight without drugs. It's getting high without drugs. That's what she says, you know. And that's the beauty of everything, because when we are attuning to the source, we are recovering our origin. When we discover ourselves as energy beings and we experience that, because everyone is talking about, yes, we are light, we are energy and all that, but you have to experience that. Because otherwise it's just an intellectual thing. But when you experience that, you are like, wow, I'm this energy being and I am part of something bigger, and I am part of the universe. I'm just this little, Fresia talks about the kaleidoscope one. We are just a little kaleidoscope detached from the one, but at the same time part of it. Yeah? Living our human experience here, learning how to create with love. Then, when I learn that lesson, I can come back home again. And that's ascension, right? So,
and truly connecting to the universe within the universe, because I mean, there's so much that we don't know about ourselves. You know, we think, oh, I know myself, I know my personality, I know my story, but there's so much more that we don't know about ourselves. And I guess that these times at the moment are providing that opportunity for us to get to know ourselves better.
Absolutely, absolutely. And know yourself is discovering your real origin. And when you discover that, then you can go deeper into that. That's it. That's it.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the courses that you do? What will people, what will they be looking for in the courses that you do? What is all this about, so people can know a little bit more?
Yeah, look, I teach how to activate the third eye, the Cyclopea method, through seminars. We have the basic seminar, which is the internal activation of the pineal gland, and I have one coming up 14th and 15th of November. And then when you do that, there is the option after that to attend to courses that are interactive courses. They are deepening courses where you learn more about happiness, about love, about opulence, about the wisdom of gesture, the musical being we are, and about death. So it's a whole cycle that covers all our human experience, really. Yeah, but that's after activating the pineal gland. So that's the main thing that I do. And those are the courses. Yeah. Yeah.
Veronica, I was going to ask you, when you talk about activating, what's going on with our pineal gland before we activate it? Is it dormant? What's happening there? Do you know?
Yeah, good question. Good question. The pineal gland, it starts getting, it shrinks a little bit or gets a little bit calcified when we are about 7 or 8 years old. It starts this process. That's why kids are very aware, and you find kids nowadays say that they talk to fairies, they are more connected, they see angels and all that. Then humanity's memory starts playing, yeah, and because our pineal gland starts shrinking a little bit, yeah, and then when we are, and this liberates a little bit of the hormones, like the melatonin especially. That's why when we are older, we only have a little bit of melatonin and other hormones in our bodies, yeah, that the pineal gland produces. So that's why we have to activate it again. Yeah. In fact, we teach children how to have the pineal gland open all the time. So there are seminars, there are instructors that are especially teaching children how to do this, not to lose that connection. And we have to activate it again because it's dormant. but is there. And the thing is that when you activate it, that when you attend the seminar, for example, you know, you just know that it is there and is part of you, and you just have to reactivate it again. That's it.
Well,
What's really amazing?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say that my experience when I did the course with you, and even before that, when we had the interview, it was just like light in my brain. It was like, you know, there was, and I could actually see it anytime I wanted to. It was like I would connect and there was light in my brain. That was very liberating.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, I went through the same thing. We all do, I think.
What's amazing, Veronica,
Sorry, Chris, I interrupted you.
Yeah, you had said to us the pineal gland is so small. It's like the size of a kidney. Is that right?
It's the size of a lentil.
Oh, really? Okay.
Very, very, very small. It's the size of a lentil. And it's so powerful.
I don't think it's talked. I think a lot of people talk about the third eye or the third eye chakra, and there's a lot of symbols throughout the world where they refer to the third eye. So it's really interesting. In the past, I'd never seen that there was a connection there with the pineal gland and the third eye.
Yes, exactly, because a lot of people think that only the pituitary gland is the third eye. But the thing is that the third eye is actually the pineal gland, and is depicted all over. And we could say that the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, they form this symbol, the triangle with the eye in the middle, and that's the pineal center. Right? And you can see this all over the wall. The Egyptians have it, the Maya culture has it. Everywhere this symbol appears. And ancient people knew about it. The thing is that our culture, we just got so disconnected from all these teachings that for us is new, but reality is not new, right? It's not new. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure whether anyone that is. Thanks, everybody for watching. There's some. Hold on, I can't see it now, but there was a few people saying hello, and Sofia Pacifico, amazing conversation. Terence, impressive. So thank you for joining us. We're open also for questions. So if anyone wants to ask a question, we're very happy. What we do with questions is we always have general questions, not a specific, unless they want to have a specific question, they can maybe write to you in another time, but usually it's general questions. I don't know whether you.
I was going to ask something, Veronica. You talked about as I said, I didn't realise it was that small, but if it calcifies over your lifetime, the decalcification process that can occur when you activate it, does the pineal gland ever expand as well with the additional sort of source energy?
I mean that it physically grows in size. No, it is the same physically, but all, of course, from an energetic point of view, because we have to think that the physical pineal gland is just a representation of an energetic pineal gland, we could say. And that gets, expanded, just illuminated. And when we illuminate that, the more we practice, the more illumination we're going to have. It's like sometimes I have people telling me that when they do the activation, they even feel all these like a bulb, light bulb, right, going up. And that's with practice, but it remains the same in size physically, but energetically it's a door. It's just a luminous thing that appears in front of us, yeah, and within us, and we are able to connect to the source. And we think that the source is somewhere. The source is not somewhere. It's in everything. It's within us too, right? It's in everything. We just need to learn how to connect to that.
That's right. One of the things that I think you said that is supported you was to have more inner peace, no? When you did your
Yes.
experience, no? Is that was?
Yeah, one of the first effects that we have is inner peace, because although sometimes people say, no, I'm very calm, right? You could be very calm, but because we are living in this world, that sometimes that's not 100% possible, right? But when you activate your pineal gland and you connect to the source, you start experiencing that inner peace. Because that's another concept that we talk about, but we don't know exactly what inner peace is. And you start experiencing that. And when you experience that, you are able to notice the difference. And the difference is probably not something that is so tangible, but other people can see it. For example, in my case was my family, my husband. Yeah, I'm married to an Australian. Yeah, and he said to me, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because you are more calmer now. Yeah, because we are Latins, you know, that we have this way of moving our hands and being very expressive and taking everything too hard and all that, right? And I stopped being like that, and I started being a lot calmer when addressing especially difficult situations. And he noticed that and said, please keep doing this. And now he's a pianist.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. Because this is radiation. Normally it starts with one person in the family, and then you have entire families that are, and it's amazing when you go to Chile and go to one of the retreats when that was possible, Fresia's retreats, Fresia Castro's retreats, you see families going there, you know. So it's amazing. Yeah.
And Veronica,
so that's one of the first effects.
Veronica, I remember when we did the activation use, and I think it happens a lot when people do retreats and people do cleansing, detoxification, especially negative energy, that the body resists that. The body sometimes really pushes it away, and you can get physically sick, or you can just,
You have effects because you are normally in a frequency, right? It could be high, low, but when you activate your pineal gland, you elevate your frequency even more. Yeah. And then you come back to the world and it's like, yeah, especially with retreats. Yeah. And you start having all these adjustments. It's only adjustments, and they are going to pass. And sometimes we think, oh, this course wasn't good for me, or this thing wasn't good for me. It's not that. It's just that you are adjusting to the new frequencies, because you are start functioning in higher level. Yeah. And it happens to me a lot when I go to Chile and go to one of these retreats. The energy is so high that and they are in the north of Chile, and I return to Santiago, the capital, I feel so low all the time, because it's like I said, it's like you are here and then sometimes you just fall hard for a few days until you recover again. And that's very normal, very, very normal. It's adjustments, that's it. Yeah.
I found my body, if you remember, Veronica, when I texted you, my body was really hot.
Yes.
Very, very hot, and I was very unsteady, you know, out of balance for quite a number of days, you know. Yeah, it was just seemed really hot and really unsettled. But like you said, I just felt my body was resisting any shift.
Yeah, our body resists our memory, our human memory, our human way of being resists that. But our energy being knows. And that's why we keep coming back then to the exercises. We know when we are disconnected, we know within ourselves that we have to connect to the source in whatever way we do. We have to connect to the source. But our body at the beginning sometimes is going to resist. Yeah. because this is my way, you know, like I do it this way, and no matter what other people tell me, I'm going to do it my way. But when you start practicing, it's like practicing meditation sometimes, you know, it's the same thing, that your body recedes and you have to close your eyes, but you want to have your eyes open. You need to get clear of all thoughts, but you keep coming, you know, having thoughts. So it's the same thing. It's just adjusting to the new frequencies. That's what we have to do. And that's what we have to do in this planet, to adjust to the new frequencies of the ascensional frequencies.
I remember like the other week I did go to a men's retreat, and compared to the original one that I went to, I was the original one I went to, I felt a bit resistance to move even my body, right? I was very self-conscious, and especially around men, but this time round, almost a year down the track, when they were playing music and I was just letting my body relax and just get my ego out of the way, it was so much easier that second time round, I think, for me. And I would imagine it's with a lot of modalities, a lot of inner work.
Yeah, it happens. It happens because we could say that these frequencies that are going around that are not that positive, they want us to stay in that frequency. And we have to be aware of that. And we have to make the effort to just elevate, and our body is going to resist, and our mind is going to resist, and all that. That's why we have to surrender to the source sometimes. Yeah. And say it's not whatever. No, it's not like that. Just connecting and saying, okay, you know, what do I need to do that? Let's do this connected. Yeah. What do I need to address? How do I address this? I'll do it connected. Yeah. So it's again it's our own will. Yeah, and the desire to be connected.
That's right. It's always a choice, and some days are a bit trickier than others. And those days that are a bit trickier, that's when we have to be more diligent and kind to ourselves, because sometimes it's just, you know, there's a lot. I mean, I find it myself. I'm usually quite emotional, and so I just have to find. Some days it's easier than others, and it's what tools do I need to use. Creating a space for myself, especially being a mom. I mean, you're a mom as well. We tend to give a lot, and then you end up not having enough energy for yourself. And it's just how you connect again. How do you connect again?
Exactly. Especially for parents. For parents is and this year it has been very difficult for parents, I think. Because we have our kids at home, they're not at school, they require more of us and all that, right? And then even if they are older or younger, whatever, I have teenagers, 17 years old, and they still need me for, you know, the smallest things. Yeah. So we do what we can. But if we do it connected, that's my point. If we do it connected to the source, it's going to be easier. Definitely easier. Yeah.
Veronica,
complaining, we're going to do it better. Yes, Christian.
I was just often when people go and do retreats, or whether they do courses and things like that, integrating it into everyday life is one thing. But how do you feel you can protect yourself when you go back to normality? And because obviously I felt in my experience, sometimes we can go back to a house and you've got this really open, vulnerable heart, and sometimes it's about protecting yourself as well. Do you have any suggestions about that for anyone that's listening as well?
Yes. Well, you know, you have the tools now. When you are connected, everything is going to be flow better anyway. Even if you go through the adjustments, yeah, then you already went. Now you just need to practice and be connected. But then for other people, the thing that I will say is just control your attention. And I use the word control because that's the thing. It's not a shift or switch our attention. It's controlling the attention, really. Controlling the attention and paying attention to other things that are not negative feelings, and then address those negative feelings from there. Yeah, there are many techniques that can do that. Yeah, but I can do an exercise now to help you to elevate your frequency, and that's going to help, right? But if you have any tools, you have a meditation or a yoga, whatever practice you do it, yeah, and that's it, do it, yeah.
And I think that this at the moment it's not enough knowing about the practices. We really need to do them, because like you're saying, we're living through, we're going through unique times in regards to vibration, and unless you're really grounded and firm, yeah, you can, you know, it can be a very moving journey.
You know what happens is that we sometimes we have the tendency to be a spiritual tourist, what I call a spiritual tourist, which is good to know. I know many modalities, but we have to choose one, maybe two to practice. Otherwise, we just go here, there, and we don't practice anything. Yeah. And we think that we are elevated in consciousness because of that, because we know a lot. The thing is that we have to walk the path. You know, it's like Buddha. Buddha practiced just one thing. One thing. Yeah. Jesus practiced just one thing. Right? Mahoma, the same thing. One thing. Right? And then that's what we have to do. We have to commit to a path. And when we commit to a path, the walking is easier.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Thanks for the reminder. It's beautiful, and it's and like you're saying, maybe, you know, we know a lot, but it's just committing to one and using it and using it and using it. And I always talk about falling down and getting up again, falling down and getting up again. It's you know, the key is to get quicker.
Yeah, that's life. Yeah, but we have to, and the one that is more aligned to us, and because everyone is in a different space, everyone is in a different level, we could say, of their own journey. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if we just go here and there, the journey becomes not just a straight path. It becomes just like branches that go there, but we never go to the trunk. Yeah. Right. And that's my advice, really.
Well, that's a fantastic advice. Well, if you want to join, if you want to take us into that practice, and
yes. It's very quick. We will do it now. So what I want you to do is to close your eyes and feel a very bright light in the middle of your brain. It's very, very, very bright. And it lights up all your brain. And there are many, many rays of light that comes out of this light, big light. And we're going to send one of those rays up in a vertical way to the source. You can think of the source as a very bright sun. And you're connecting to that. And now you're going to feel that a ray of light coming out of that sun comes down to your heart. And you inhale, just your normal breathing, and you exhale that light. You inhale, you breathe in, that light, and then you breathe out that light. And when you're ready, you can come back. Yeah, that's very simple and very effective. Yeah, and we just do it anytime. The more you do it, the better.
That's right. I love it when I sense the brain lighting up, because it just feels that there's no thoughts, there's nothing. It's just light.
Yeah, this is an elevation of frequency exercise. Yeah.
And it only took what, a few minutes. So we invite people to do it. We invite people to watch it again and again, and just practice and see how they go, whether they feel more peace, whether they feel that their mind is more relaxed, their emotions are more relaxed, their body is more at peace, because that's the aim, isn't it?
That's the aim. That we are able to manage our emotions, and that we are able to function in the world in high frequency, and learning, as I said before, learning how to create with love, creating with love. Because a lot of people think that creating with love is just doing good things. It's not. It's you being a love being, right? It's you expanding, radiating this, and creating from that space. Yeah, and radiating that, and that's all that we have to do. It's not something big, really, if we think, because we associate spirituality with something very out there and very big, and it's not big.
That's right.
It's just being ourselves and being in connection and radiating this. That's it.
That's right. The change is always within.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes we go and we want to change outside our world, but the change is always within. And that's what we've been promoting with these conversations.
Yes, very nice. I love it. I love this concept. Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much, Veronica. So you already mentioned when the next course is. Do you also do one-on-one support if anyone wanted to get some support from you?
I do that, but not the pineal gland is done through seminars. So I do one-to-one, but I work with some elements of the method, but different things. Yes, and is the 14th or 15th of November, the next one. Every 2 months I do it, and then for the ones that are already pianists, I start a new cycle of interactive courses in January. And yeah, so all that. And you can reach out to me. My website is highfrequencybeing.com, and my Facebook too.
Yeah, we'll put that, Veronica, on the chat so that
yes,
it's there on there. Yeah,
I will do that.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Thank you.
And we invite people to connect with you, and also to any of the presenters that will be presenting in this, in Conversations from Home. Whatever people resonate with, it's really important to go and say, well, you know, I'm interested in what you do. You know, can you sort of support me in understanding and practicing this method a bit more? So
yes, definitely. This is the time to support each other.
That's right. Hold someone's hand.
Exactly.
Yes. So really excited. Thanks for being on Conversations from Home. Next Wednesday, so this Wednesday, 8 p.m, join us for a discussion about the vulnerable warrior and the loss of identity. So those that are hearing us, so we've got two beautiful men that are going to be joining us, lovely friends of mine who've been doing a lot of men's work, and again, still building upon all this beautiful soup of love and discussion about, I guess, coming back to mental health, but also all the different elements that can help, including Veronica's beautiful teachings.
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, everyone.
We wish you that you keep doing it and you keep sharing this wisdom. I mean, we did the practice with you, and it was fantastic. We did it throughout 2 days. So yes, keep doing it. Keep sharing your wisdom. Thank you. You too. You too, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for watching us. And like Christian said, tune in on Wednesday at 8 o'clock again, and we'll be sharing love. Okay. Have a beautiful night and have a beautiful day. Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Ciao.
See you, everybody. See you, Veronica.
See ya.